I'm William Scolof. I'm a bass baritone, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Daniel McGrew, who is not only an amazing tenor, but happens to be one of my dearest friends. So we're going to ask him a couple questions.
Okay.
So it feels kind of funny to ask you this question because we've been friends for a while now, but the people don't know. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Orange, California, which is northern Orange County, like 32 miles from Los Angeles, south. In a very beautiful place. I mean, it was a stunning place to grow up. There was a beach
You're
nearby.
a surfer boy, right?
No. It was beautiful. It was sunny all the time. I mean, I didn't know what a season was until I went to college.
Wow. Do you come from a musical family?
Not at all.
Not at all?
No. My grandmother, whose father had been a music lover, an opera lover, and I played the trumpet. She said, I think he's kind of musical. Maybe he'd get into something like that. And so then I was taken to piano lessons and sang in musicals and things, and that was us kind of salvation. So my grandmother was, in my mind, she's responsible for sort of leading me to that in a really important way.
Where for you is that path from musicals and plays to classical singing?
Well, I think that happened really in high school when I got a serious classical teacher, and he said, why don't you learn, have you ever heard of Schubert? And probably I had heard, but I didn't know that a bunch of composers had taken poems and set them to music, and that immediately captured my imagination, obviously. I mean, it was the perfect combination of the perfect intersection of interests.
So you're talking about how exciting that time in like middle school, high school, when you discover poems being set to music. What singers, what songs, what recordings really gripped you at that age, or still do?
Yeah.
Or were formative?
So initially I can remember completely obsessing over Fritz Wunderlich singing Dichte Liebe.
That's so good.
Which is the best thing you've ever heard.
Pinnacle.
No one's voice gets so beautiful in the passaggio. Like, why is it so pretty? And an extraordinary interpretation also. It's just an amazing sort of investigation into that piece.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Oberlin Conservatory of Music, and it was the best place for me to be at that time. I had an amazing teacher, Salvatore Champagne, who gave me like the best foundation, and a great coach who just like taught me how to deal with the languages. And it was all undergrad, so I got a lot of roles. So it was a really formative time. I sang my first Bach there, which totally exploded my sense of what it meant to like learn music, sing music. It was just like a universe that felt new at the time.
And was it that kind of discovery of Bach that led you to Yale afterwards?
It was a few things, if I'm honest. I mean, there was the fact that everyone agreed that my voice was suited to early music.
Yeah.
Because I went to Yale in the early music program, which is distinct from the opera program.
Yes.
It seemed like an interesting prospect to focus on early tradition and learn about how it works and the conventions that are at play, which are, different.
Yeah.
It's just a different skill set, a different style.
At what point did you first encounter young concert artists, and how now does YCA play into that musical path?
Well, I became aware of it probably just via sort of colleagues, It's the way I become aware of a lot of things. Someone says, oh, I'm doing this, you think, what is it? And I was involved in 2 seasons of auditions. That is, I auditioned one year, went pretty far, and then was not one of the winners. A year passed, the year you won, I think. Yeah,
I think so.
And then the next year, I decided to do it again. The team here at YCA, working with them and having their counsel, having their, they negotiate contracts. They help me sort of negotiate conversations with presenters.
Mm-hmm.
I can come with them with an idea or a project,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll say, yeah, let's see how that could happen.
Yeah.
That's just it's a really, really helpful resource when you're trying to get some momentum going.
So tell me a little bit about the process you went through of putting together this program that is so varied in nature. I just want to hear about how you got there.
I approached it thinking about what I get out of songs, which is a lot, and how I can make a program about that.
Yeah.
Hoping that personal quality, that conviction will lead to or result in a vivid and personal experience for the audience. Yeah. The idea of ambivalence, the feeling of being conflicted, of having so many selves and trying to hold them all at once. The fight to believe in oneself and in others and in something bigger than oneself. The inability to, John Donne is the perfect person in a way. I know he is basically one of the most important religious writers in English and one of the most powerful, erotic poets in English.
Yeah.
It's a strange dichotomy. He died an Anglican priest. He was born a recusant Catholic.
Yeah.
He embodies all these conflicts, and it's very present in those sonnets. There are so many moving moments in the Donne, especially the song in which he mourns the death of his wife, Anne. Since she whom I love, present tense, has paid her last debt, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
In these tiny little jewels of a song, we can sort of unfold all of the most crucial things about what we're feeling and what we're struggling with and what we're looking for. In the program note, I say the songs may not sort of solve the riddle for us. They may not teach us exactly who or how to be, but they do something at least as important in making us less alone. That's why I love them so much. I mean, that's why I need them. That's what the recital's about for me.
So
what are we doing now? Should I wear these like some sort of celebrity?
I mean, how much do you want to look like an absolute? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Met or MoMA?
Met.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What are you reading right now?
Okay, so I just finished Persuasion for the first time. I'm also reading A.R. Ammons. Okay, I was at a used bookstore in Ann Arbor, and there was this tiny little volume of selected A.R. Ammons by David Lehman. I bought it. I started reading it. I'm obsessed.
Wow. What's your go-to cocktail order?
Okay, Boulevardier.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it.
But also this summer, I mean, again, I'm plagued by ambivalence. This summer I had an aviation that I feel was a revelation, frankly. And I can't stop thinking about it. Not to mention it was lavender. I mean, it's the most beautiful thing.
That's summer. What's your favorite podcast?
Poog, probably. I mean, that's the one I listen to all the time.
I love Poog.
And I listen to it because of you. So.
I have great taste.
Influencer.
But, who's your most listened to artist on Spotify?
I'm obsessed with Joni.
Me too.
I still listen to Joni as though she's releasing things.
Me too.
Like as though Blue came out yesterday.
Yeah. If you had to play any instrument, what would it be?
Cello. Yeah. Because everyone who plays cello is extraordinarily hot and sexy. And the instrument is hot.
It's true.
The sound is everything I've ever dreamed of. The repertoire is
stunning.
Better than any.
Yeah.
Cello.
Yeah. What do you do when you're not singing?
I like to exercise, I like to bake,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pulling out my phone because you have to see.
This is Daniel's tarte tatin, which he's very proud of.
Look at
It's gorgeous.
It's glistening, it's beautiful, the apples are perfectly caramelized. That is the best thing I've ever done. Love is going around.
Okay.
That's where it began.
That's where it began.
What is it?
It's an A flat.
Very impressive.
My ass. I fucking got it.